Nearly 12,000 years ago, people gathered on a ridge in southern Turkey to move mountains. This is Göbekli Tepe. It predates Stonehenge by 6 millennia, making it the oldest known megalithic site on Earth. The sheer age of these ruins has fueled a persistent internet theory that only a lost, technologically advanced civilization could have built this. The argument assumes that prehistoric hunter-gatherers were simply too primitive for engineering on this scale. There is also the enduring mystery of how the site was lost. For years, the prevailing story was that the builders meticulously buried the entire complex under thousands of tons of dirt, intentionally hiding their work from the future. It leaves us with a massive contradiction. How does a prehistoric society orchestrate a build of this magnitude, only to effectively erase it from the face of the Earth? New evidence from recent excavations is finally providing an answer. We now know that these pillars weren't erected overnight. The site wasn't an empty sanctuary, and the earth covering it was never meant to be there. The archaeological record reveals a grounded, human story, a 1,500-year sequence of builders grappling with their environment and their own ambitions. 12,000 years ago, this region looked very different. Rather than today's dry terrain, builders were surrounded by a lush, abundant steppe grassland. Massive herds of migrating gazelles and stands of wild cereals provided a reliable calorie surplus. This natural wealth allowed a large workforce to remain in one place and focus on construction without the need for established farming. This also meant they didn't need a massive coerced labor force. The local limestone is naturally soft. When worked with sharp flint tools found across the plateau, it becomes highly manageable for small, organized groups. Experimental archaeology has shown just how little labor was actually required. A team of 12 to 24 people, using basic wooden levers and ropes, could carve and move one of these pillars into place in just a few months. This small workforce was composed of highly skilled artisans. They decorated the pillars with sophisticated, low-relief carvings of foxes, boars, and birds, details that suggest a culture of immense creative focus. The site also holds the physical traces of daily life: archaeological rainwater cisterns, and thousands of grinding stones used for processing grain. These clues tell us that Göbekli Tepe was a bustling community center. Monumental construction was likely the centerpiece of massive communal feasts that brought the population together across the seasons. If this was a thriving village, we have to re-examine why it ended up underground. Early researchers misread the soil layers, assuming humans had backfilled the enclosures, but the geological evidence tells a different story. The settlement was built on a steep limestone slope, making it incredibly vulnerable. In a period of heavy rainfall or seismic shifts, the ridge above the enclosures became a massive liability. This diagram shows the true cause of the burial. Massive landslides swept down the mountain, inundating lower buildings with debris. The builders fought back, constructing heavy terrace walls as shields. Eventually, these defenses failed. In a catastrophic event, the walls collapsed, allowing a final torrent of sediment to completely submerge the enclosures. The chaotic state of the debris in these trenches is the physical record of that disaster. The pillars were swallowed by a landslide, not carefully placed in a ritual grave. The mountain itself eventually consumed the site, burying the enclosures under the same rock they were carved from. This destruction leaves us with the final mystery. Where did the people go once their monumental center was swallowed by the mountain? The population adapted. As their environment changed, they began the slow transition into the agricultural lifestyles that would eventually define the Neolithic Revolution. Göbekli Tepe flips the traditional timeline of human progress. It proves that monumental engineering can occur long before a society ever plants its first crop. These specific animal motifs reappear across multiple enclosures, evidence of a sophisticated symbolic language shared by these people long before the invention of writing. The landslides that engulfed these structures created a perfect time capsule, preserving the exact moment humanity learned to organize and build on a monumental scale.